Hey guys, my name is Luke, this is Lukey Stars, and today I'm going to do a repair on a much newer phone than I usually do. My newest phone repaired until now was the Motorola G5s, which was really difficult to find parts for, mostly because it is such an uncommon phone to try and repair. Today we're repairing a much more commonly repaired phone, the Galaxy A50. We have two of them right here. This one you have definitely seen in my previous videos. The display does work, however the motherboard is broken. It is broken to the point where it can't charge. It shows an overheating warning when it isn't actually overheating, and that is a giant problem with this phone. And this is a Galaxy A50 that I recently got from one of my relative's friends. And this one has a broken AMOLED. So what we're going to do today is replace the board from this phone to this phone. Since this phone still has a lot of their personal information, I won't reveal the background once it turns on, just in case. But I will tell you, I will show you if it charges, since that's what matters. This display is functional, but the board is the problem. This board is fine, and the display is broken. I have already peeled off the back of each phone. I did it using the help of these tools. First of all, this phone already had some chip on it, so it was very easy to get into. And as you can see, the internals are actually colored with the back cover, so that's really nice. And then I did the same for this phone, and it was a little more resilient since it didn't actually have any chip damage from falls. The main problem with this was really the board that broke inside due to water damage. And I'm not sure if we're able to spot a difference between the two, but that is what happened. That's the reason why it's so broken. And today we're going to swap out the boards. Nothing else needs to be swapped, so thankfully the batteries won't be a pain for us, and neither will the charging ports, which are actually glued to the display. So that would be a problem to replace, but thankfully we do not have to do that. Anyways, I will show the equipment that we need to use to replace these things. The suction cup is not needed, although it can be preferable if you want to remove the bags yourself. I just did it the hard way by putting this tool right in the corner over and over again until it finally gave in and just came off. Trying my hardest to not damage anything else, and it worked. Anyways, we're going to use a regular Phillips head screw, also labeled here as the plus 1.0 screwdriver, which attaches magnetically and very easily to this. And as you can tell, the glue is very new. My hands are still sticky after just touching the phone. And the other tools that we'll need to use are this to remove the SIM card tray from this A50. And only from this one, since the other one already has a missing SIM card tray. So, without further ado, let's get started with the screw removal. Finally, I got rid of all of the screws. And let me tell you, that was certainly an experience. It was a pain, to say the least. I sat there for 12 minutes, even though the time lapse will show less than 1 minute, just trying to take apart these phones. And this is step 2. Step 3 is to take out the SIM card tray, if your phone has one, that is, and to then take off both the frame and the back, the frame and the plastics, which on this phone they're pretty easy since they were already snapped a little, but on this phone they'll be much more difficult, and I also certainly won't be able to do any of this with just one hand, so we'll be right back. So now these plastics are off, but my hand hurts a lot, so I'll use that hand to record instead of continue the repairs with, and I'll use this hand to continue the repairs. So this tool, while nice for removing the back plastics of the phone, is not actually necessary. Also, if you want to remove these plastics with the frame, then you definitely need this tool. I tried with the plastic tool and it was impossible to get it off. However, you do need this tool to unplug some ribbon cables in order to get to the board. Yeah, you know what I said about using the other hand to repair? Never mind. Apparently that's not happening. So this is the first ribbon cable, and then this is the next. And finally there's this ribbon cable that's connected to the battery, and then there are these wires. Anyways, as I was saying, these are the wires. Both need to be disconnected. Only on the upper side though. Again, I will need my right hand for this, as I do not want to snap the cables by accident. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, and they're off. There's one more screw that's apparently hiding in the board. And that's... well, actually, before that screw is unraveled, there is one more thing that we need to get rid of. And that is the ribbon cable for the... oh, whoops. For the... I mean, this board is already broken, so who cares, I guess. But the ribbon cable for the front camera, before we're able to get the motherboard out. Yeah, about that. Oh, there's the screw. It was barely visible. It hid itself really well with the other holes that were poked by the screws, which I suppose is intentional. And I'll do the same on this one, but I'm not filming it because, as you just saw, this was a pain. Be right back again. And now everything is unplugged in this as well. It went a little messier with the wires than in this one, but we're going to use the wires from the first phone anyway, since we're swapping the boards. So it should be fine. I'm not even going to try to take out the boards on camera. Oh wait, never mind. This was pretty easy. Let's try doing it for this one as well. And now we have the new board in place. I'm just going to plug in the ribbon cables and see if everything works. this was. So that's everything connected except for the front camera, which I think this one was the one that originally belonged to this A50. And now that everything's plugged in, let's see if it works. Alright, time to plug it in. Yes, I know the charging port is, well, not the charging port, but the charger is also very scuffed, but it has worked last time, so let's see if it works this time. Okay. So the display still works, and we replaced it with the new board. Okay, so it was the charging port that was the problem. Okay, that is unfortunate. And the reason for that is that it unfortunately means that we have to do more disassembling. However, it should be fine. Well, let's plug in the front camera actually on this phone as well. And I'll explain why, since every ribbon cable that we need to take down is actually down here. And also, no, I'm actually not replacing the boards back, simply because there could actually be a possibility that the board is also broken. And as a result, I don't want to risk it, and also the relative in question asking me to give their asking me to repair the phone wants their data back, so I will replace the board as well. Anyways, next thing that I have to do is to unscrew 2 screws in order to get rid of the underscreen fingerprint scanner. Oops. Anyways, you may not notice any water damage at all, and I don't either, but that doesn't mean that it isn't there. So let's take out the underscreen fingerprint scanner. As you can see, we will not swap this out since that does work just fine, I think. And we're not sure if the one on the other phone even works at all. So I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is to try and unplug the wires, and I'm not doing this on camera. So be right back, yet again. Alright, now the charging port has been replaced, and this one doesn't actually have much glue to it. And the reason for that is, clearly it was indeed water damage, as you can see right here. The indicator goes red when it's water damaged, and this is very red. Well, pink. But pink is a shade of red anyways. So I'm gonna plug in the A50 again, and we'll see if it works this time. Plugging it in will probably take a little while. I'm actually really nervous though, since if it still doesn't work, then I don't really know what to do from here. So hopefully it just does. There we go. I cannot turn it on right now, but the fact that it's charging is a good sign. So I'll leave it here and then put everything back together in. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to unplug it and put everything back together and then start charging it again. Be right back. So now that we're back here, I'm probably going to do a time lapse of putting everything back together, except for putting the USB-C, well, for the charging board back on this phone, simply because I don't want to. It is a lot of effort and a lot of messing around with tiny parts, and since the parts are tiny, I don't really want to mess with them on camera. And I'll be back, and the time lapse will start once I have to put the back plastics on, and it will end with putting the plastic back on each phone. Alright, everything on the bottom has been placed on the second phone as well. So now that the bottom boards are also put together, we can start putting the back plastics on, and then later the plastic backs. So let's get the time lapse started. Never mind, had to stop the time lapse because I forgot to put this black screw back in, and I am not going through the effort of trying to make a time lapse again, so I guess just enjoy the final results. Hey guys, so quick update. After 2 hours of first sitting on the charger, then then sending all the files to the relative that really needed the old files from their phone, to resetting the phone after all the files have been sent, I have finally managed to fix this Galaxy A50. And it's working pretty well. It's actually genuinely a really nice phone. And I'm really glad that I got it working again. Oh, and also, just a fun benefit, the old phone with the old board was a 64GB model, but this one is a 128GB model. And let's see, the software version, it is also on Android 11 instead of Android 10, which is pretty cool. I'm really bad at this Android Easter egg in particular, so excuse me while I attempt and fail pretty consistently at this. Also, I genuinely don't know if I'm just bad at this or if the touchscreen is failing me. I really hope the touchscreen isn't failing me, since it shouldn't. Anyways, this also has the edge feature, even though it doesn't actually have an edge. Well, it doesn't have an edge display. Excuse me for the sound voice shift, I got a little sick. Hopefully that doesn't last the entire week, since I do have to go to school in a few days, and that's not fun. Anyways, that was it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!